the universe. The next voice you hear.
It's Erik Nagel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Erik Nagel. I am your host, Erik Nagel, and joining me always is my co-host, Matt, Geek Stuff OG on the Twitter and the Instagram. Matt, how are you?
I am lovely, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing good at our new slot, our new time.
That's right.
Friday nights, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast, so we're welcoming the West Coast doing Afternoon Drive.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
I feel special.
Not that we weren't doing it on Saturday nights, but more people are listening now than probably on Saturday night.
In theory.
In theory, yes.
Technically, yes.
So we'll welcome everybody on the West Coast here to our show if you haven't checked it out before. Also joining us is a regular on this program. My good buddy Giddles is here.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Giddle Base on the Twitter and the Instagram there as well.
Hello.
And we've got a big show here tonight. We're going to talk with the cast of Archer a little later in the program. Archer is a show on FX. If you haven't seen it, it's an amazing animated show starring H. John Benjamin, Aisha Tyler, Chris Parnell, Lucky Yates, Judy Greer. The whole cast is amazing. Jessica Walters, old school actress there.
It's a pretty big cast.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. The season premiere just happened. I think it was last night. So that's Thursday nights, 10 p.m. on FX. So we'll talk to them in a little bit, and then also we're going to talk to actor Kevin Pollak, who is been a big supporter of mine, and I can't thank him enough.
That's awesome.
It is. It's weird how everything worked out with that. If you're not familiar with the storyline, Kevin is a big fan of the Opie and Anthony show, now the Opie and Jimmy show. And it turns out he's not a fan of Sam for some reason, which I don't think he gave Sam a fair shake. But this has been going on for a while.
It's Sam.
And through all the barbs and everything, it turns out he's been a big supporter of mine as well. So we'll talk to him in a little bit.
Well, that's lovely.
Yeah, we'll talk to him about the Kevin Pollak Chat Show.
Yes.
Which he's doing online and is pretty popular. 2015, first show of the year here. We've been off for a couple of weeks. We had new episodes, but we weren't technically here.
Correct.
What's been going on since we last talked to you?
Well, my life was a bit tumultuous. My wife ended up in the hospital, so that was fun for a couple of days.
What'd she do?
Emergency gallbladder removal surgery.
Nice.
So
That's a fun one.
Yeah, that was exciting. And then I was the victim of identity theft on two separate cards of mine.
Oh, no.
My Amazon account and one of my credit cards. Someone tried to buy a bunch of gift cards from Starbucks using my credit card. So that was fun.
Well, that happened to me, too. Somebody duplicated my credit card during right before Christmas, actually. Went and paid for Muni parking, which is the metered parking for New York City, over in Long Island City.
Right.
Then went and got gas in the Bronx. Then went to dinner at Applebee's. And when they saw all the charges were going through, decided to go to Macy's and spend over $4,000.
And you know what? The credit card company didn't stop this because that's exactly what you would do. You'd go to an Applebee's. You'd go spend all. They expected it. Eric.
No, well, when the bank called me and was talking to me about this, the ticket charges went through, and then they saw the gas charge in a totally different area of Manhattan, so they let it go depend on the bill there just to follow the trail. And as soon as the $4,000 hit, they blocked the card. This way they can build a case. They can,
So were they just like sitting there? They're like, all right, here he goes. Ready? Get him! Swarm! Swarm! And they all just like flew out and they're like, oh, we got him. The guy who's got Nagel's card. Get him!
Well, I had no idea this was even going on until they called and it was telling me. I'm like, I haven't used the card in a while, so I didn't know. And I didn't have to pay for anything. You don't have to nowadays if you have a good bank. But
their mistake was going to a Macy's. After Applebee's, they should have gone to like TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something.
Dave & Buster's.
It would have been a lot more low key. My scenario with Amazon was really bizarre because someone got my Amazon password and bought a bunch of stuff through my Amazon account, but didn't change where it was going to be shipped to. It was going to be delivered to my house. So I got on the phone with Amazon. I took care of it with them, and then I got on the phone with the bank, and I tried to take care of them.
Why would they hack your account and then send it to your house?
Well, I didn't know this, so I asked the guy at the bank. I'm like, this makes no sense to me. He's like, we see this a lot with Amazon. What people do, it's someone local, and they'll hack your Amazon account. They'll order a bunch of stuff, and then they use the shipment tracking, and they camp your house and take the package off your doorstep once it gets delivered.
So it's one of your neighbors got it.
But I guess, or at least someone in my town.
Or someone stalking you.
Yeah, well, could be.
So they bought several $100s in
yeah,
what?
it was like a bunch of electronics. Yeah. And it was the week after Christmas, so everybody's buying their post-holiday sales and stuff like that. So
I've never heard of it. I'm not surprised by it, but I've never heard of them actually doing everything to send to your house and then camp out by your house waiting for the delivery.
Well, I guess they...
What happened if you were home? Like, they ship sometimes and you get deliveries at night. So if you're home, they bring it, the guy's waiting, and you just walk in with all this electronic stuff, and now they're fucked. They're sitting there in the car.
Well, think about it this way.
I'm not supporting them. I'm just trying to figure out the thought process on it.
So the worst case scenario is I'm home, right? But so who cares? So they don't get that item, right? But they still don't get caught. It's not like they're sitting on my stoop. They're probably.
And then you're sitting there like, why do I need this Blu-ray player? Like, I didn't order this.
And it's Amazon. I just call them up, send it back at no cost to myself. Amazon pays for it all.
Right.
And they never find out who does it. I just happen to catch it because I'm a bit anal when it comes to my Amazon account. So I get like the alert through the app, the alert through email. Something has been ordered. Something is shipped. And I'm like, I didn't order any of this shit. What's going on? So
I'm sure this happens to everybody.
The bank said it was pretty frequent.
I never really heard it with Amazon, but I'm sure this happens with everybody then.
The bank said it was frequent, so
866-969-1969 is the phone number if you want to call in. Yeah, we're not doing
way too many times.
I mean, we'll take your story, but
I feel like if you haven't, then maybe we should take that story.
There you go.
No, I don't have a credit card.
I want to know. I want to know if you've ever ordered something from someone else's account and camped out on someone's porch.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're
that'd be
that guy, call in and let us know.
Someone is going to call in today. I'm doing it right now.
They'd be like, "Hey, Matt, I know you're not home."
I'm like, damn.
Let's see what else has been going on here. Holiday stuff. Who cares about that? We're far removed. Credit card stuff, which sucks. It was also time during the holiday season to catch up on things.
Sure.
And right before we left, our last live show of the year, not the new show, but the last live show we did, we ran down a list of stuff that maybe you should check out for your binge listening pleasure or watching pleasure, Netflix and podcasts, things like that. Did you catch up on anything during the holiday?
One of the things I wanted to do was start the Marvel Cinematic Universe over from scratch. So I got through, I think, Iron Man 1 and 2, and then Thor. And then again, my wife went to the hospital. My life kind of got turned upside down for a couple of days, and I never got to catch up on any of the other stuff that I wanted to catch up on.
Should have just downloaded it to your tablet and just watched in the hospital.
You know what? If she was knocked out, maybe I would have. But she was awake, so I was kind of limited.
Oh well, it happens.
And I had a 3-year-old with me. That didn't help either.
What did I watch? I watched Black Mirror.
Yeah, man.
Which Giddles was telling me for a while. And if you listen to Bennington this morning here on the Opie radio channel, Ron and Gail brought it up as well about Black Mirror. And what I didn't realize until Ron said it, it has a very Twilight Zone feel. A lot of twists and turns and things you don't see coming. And I like those kind of things. But the whole theme through seasons 1 and 2, and even in the Christmas special that just aired, it's all that technology is going to fuck us up.
Yeah.
Like, the bottom line is, no matter what weird, crazy shit was going on in the episodes, the bottom line was technology caused all the problems.
There was a couple of issues I had, which is that it hit a little too close to home with like how fast technology is accelerating. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe people recording everything they see and being able to play it back all the time will happen. It probably will.
If you haven't seen the show, it's on. It's now available on Netflix. It's a British show. It's now available over here, so we won't give too much away. But there is an episode that made some news where. It's an episode about people having these little implants inside, like behind their ear, and it records your vision. Yeah, so everything you see and interact with is now recorded like a digital file.
So it's kind of like Google Glass, but implanted.
It's basically like implanted Google Glass.
Right, and then like with Apple TV, you have a little remote where you can send it from your memories to a television, and you can now watch everything you just saw right on the TV.
So every fight you've ever had with your spouse, you can bring it right up to the second and play it exactly how it was.
This is where like you fun. Said, because I want to revisit all of that nonsense.
Yeah, but that kind of fun.
So that episode, the rights were purchased by Robert Downey Jr., and now they're going to make a feature film based on that episode.
That's cool.
And the technology that was used that was featured in the episode. And it just got me thinking, when you can transfer your thoughts to the television, do you think they'll explore in the movie the fact like some guy will just walk into a Best Buy or whatever store they have there, and you see the wall of TVs, and just send like the most dirtiest shit over to the television? Like, you're just watching this guy jerk off and he's just hiding down the aisle.
Of course you go the really gross dark.
Why not? It's a movie. You can go that way.
Listen, as a guy who worked in retail in a video store where we frequently caught gentlemen playing
Jerking
with their
off?
peepees,
Wow.
in the porn
That's a
or
great
anime
job.
section, yes, I absolutely think that someone would be sick enough to do that.
Oh yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
It'd be nice if they feature it in the movie. I'm just putting it out there.
You just want to see guys
somebody
touching
may be
themselves.
listening. We're on, at a good time in Los Angeles. Somebody may pick up the idea and say, we got to incorporate that into the movie.
E-Rock wants to see men touching themselves in the feature film.
I just want to see a scene where somebody throws up something horrific on a wall of televisions in a department store.
Okay.
All right. I think that could happen.
That's fair enough, right?
Sure.
I think so.
So again, Black Mirror, if you haven't seen it, go on Netflix and enjoy binge watching that. The only thing that's not available is the Christmas special, which Gittles got for me through alternative means, and it was very enjoyable. But speaking about alternative means as far as watching and streaming this stuff, Netflix was in the news this week as far as dealing with the VPN people.
Right.
That's me.
If there's apps out there where you can change your geolocation and say, I'm in the UK, and you can watch the Netflix service that's in over in the UK or over in the Netherlands or Germany or Japan even, and they all have different movie libraries than what's in the United States. And it's not necessarily movies that are made in those countries. They'll have stuff from America that's not available in the United States, but it's showing out over there.
Right, makes no sense.
You were telling me about what movie showed up the day after the DVD release in Canada.
Oh, it was, I'm pretty sure it was The Hobbit. It was on like the next day in Canada Netflix, and it wasn't on American Netflix. But
For about a year.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So a lot of people have been doing this. There's certain apps you can download and ways to work around it. So now it got to the point where the television and the movie industry were getting really pissed off and now pressuring Netflix because they said there's certain rights to showing TV and movies in different countries than it is in the United States, which I don't entirely get, but they said some movies can't show over there that they can show here and vice versa.
It's licensing and copyright, and it's nonsense and hogwash is what I think.
It's a lot of control and money.
It's people just want to be paid more for everything that you do,
That's
right?
what it comes down
Absolutely.
Now, so Netflix was saying that they're rolling out this stuff to block all these VPNs so you can't watch Netflix and movies and stuff in other countries if you're in the United States and vice versa. But then you were telling me, or Matt was telling me, that they're not going to do this now.
I heard something that they're not going to do it, and it makes sense because they have too many subscribers that watch through VPNs. So in order for Netflix to do it, they would have to alienate all those subscribers and possibly lose all those subscribers. They're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that.
They'll figure out a different way to do it, but it's not going to be to block VPN. They'll figure out something else, but it ain't going to be that.
Yeah. I can't see them blocking that. It's just
they have to make, at least I guess, put forth the effort to show that they're making the attempt to appease a lot of the movie companies and the production companies, saying, look, we're trying to do it, but it's one of those things where the internet's just too big to control, and we're not going to be able to do this
because people use VPNs for completely legitimate reasons.
Yeah.
So you can't alienate anybody who's using a VPN. They'll figure out a different region code, or they'll figure the same way they have with DVDs. They'll figure out something to block the file,
or they'll find a new way to be like, oh, you want to watch in these countries? Like, you can pay this like international streaming fee to like watch from any other countries, and they'll find a way to make money off of it.
They'll monetize it.
They'll find a way.
Yep.
And that's how we first found out about Black Mirror, because it was streaming over there and not here in the United States.
Yep.
We'll have to put that on hold for a second, because we'll have to welcome our first guest tonight. Is a legendary actor. You know him from movies like Usual Suspects, Casino, Whole Nine Yards, but I will always think fondly of him as the county clerk in Wayne's World 2, Mr. Kevin Pollak.
I actually had you written down as Willow.
Oh. How are you, sir?
Kicking life square in the nuts. How are you, Dr. Nagel?
I am doing well, sir. Kevin Pollak hosts a show online called the Kevin Pollak Chat Show. Just throw a .com at the end of that, and you can get to the website. Video and audio available on it. And Kevin has been nice enough to call into Opie and Jimmy, over the years, and one of those binge things I happened to do over vacation was I went on YouTube, his YouTube channel, and started watching a lot of the Kevin Pollak Chat Show, and I have to say, well done, sir. I mean, the visual element, I think, really helps compared to a lot of the audio stuff that people normally do. But I think your show works more in a video realm there.
Well, it's nice to know it's not just my ego that forces the show to be a video podcast. So thanks for that. Yeah, there's a lot of audio interview podcast shows now available. When I started, actually March will be 6 years, there weren't many options in either audio or video. And now that in LA being asked to be on a friend's podcast is the new jury duty.
Yeah, every comic seems to have a podcast, which is, again, a cliche term, but there's only a handful of them that really actually excel at making it work.
Yeah, I mean, look, coming from stand-up comedy, I totally get any way possible for a comedian to get a creative opportunity to be proactive in their own career, to have a creative outlet. All these reasons are why I'm in favor of there being 10,421 podcasts at present. I've been fortunate with the video to now, lay claim to I have the longest on-camera interview with, and then fill in the blank, be it Tom Hanks or Larry David or Elon Musk or whoever.
In recent months, the guest list has been really impressive as far as who you've had on the show there. Our own Jim Norton has been on it. Bill Burr, Bill Hader, Alex Winter even, which I watched the Alex Winter one, and trying to find out more about Bill and Ted 3, the information for that. But the most recent ones you had was Harlan Williams and Toby Huss.
Yes.
I'm a big Toby Huss fan, and if you're not familiar who Toby is, back in the 90s, he did a lot of those bumpers for MTV as Frank Sinatra.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was singing like hardcore rap and alternative songs like Frank Sinatra. He was also Arnie, the world's strongest man in The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that was him.
Right.
I did not know that was him.
But that was a great interview, and then Matt saw the Harlan Williams one.
I did. I checked it out today. Although, I'll be honest with you. I was checking it out for the first time, and so I put in to my search engine, Kevin Pollak show, and I didn't get the YouTube channel as the first hit, so I didn't see the video element of the show. I got whatever site hosts just your audio element.
Earwolf?
Yes, that one. So I will have to go back now and check out some more of the shows with the video element because I want to see how it all works out.
Yeah, the video is on iTunes or Hulu or YouTube, and then the Earwolf is iTunes obviously too, but Earwolf is the #1 comedy podcast network at present. I was very pleased when they asked to license all the episodes and actually work as a sales agent for us as well to get sponsorship.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I pay my crew of 4 or 5 people a stipend, but it's always nice to have a sponsor. But most importantly, who is my guest on the chat show this Sunday?
That's what I was going to ask, because there's a lot of podcasts out there. I wanted to know what difficulties you've run into as far as booking, because there's so many options now.
No, that was a leading question because my guest is Anthony Cumia.
Oh, hey. There we go. Mr. Cumia is going to be on the Kevin Pollak Chat Show. When does that go online?
Sunday.
Streams live on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern.
There we go.
Nice.
I wasn't aware of that, but now I'll have to go and check that out.
Yeah, and then Rainn Wilson, who's got a new show coming up, is the guest the following weekend on the 18th.
Oh, nice.
That's crazy.
Outside of the chat show, what do you have in the works?
Well, the documentary that features interviews with over 60 incredibly famous funny fuckers and includes Opie and Anthony and Norton that I directed, called Misery Loves Comedy, will debut, have its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival. I'm ridiculously proud to say.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Now, from doing the Sundance Film Festival, is that also where you have your opportunity to sell it to some kind of distributor or to Netflix, or do you already have those deals in line?
One of the first big accomplishments or achievements or shot in the arm, really, for the documentary was when one of the 3 big powerhouse agencies here in Hollywood saw the film and asked to represent it for sales. To have a big agency rep the film is a huge, big deal in terms of sales and in terms of the life of the film, mainly because said giant agency doesn't even represent me. They just saw the film and asked to rep it. And, you know, they're not in the business of doing favors, so the only reason they would want to rep it is if they smell money. So that was the first kind of shot in the arm we got. The idea here also, because I have 70 hours of interviews, is that it will live beyond the film itself into a series of shows.
When will all this be available to the public?
I will have to call back when that is done. UTA is the agency representing it. They're setting up screenings prior to Sundance. We'll have screenings at Sundance as well, but, you know, they're hard at work at figuring out the distribution, both theatrical and on the interwebs and TV. And so as soon as that's in place, I'll have to call back and let you know.
All right, well, please do. And we'll be on the lookout for Misery Loves Comedy, a film by Kevin Pollak. And there's a ton of bonus extras here. He's 70 hours worth of interviews, so he's got some, you know, he's got a lot to go with here. And
oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I do. Now, I have a big question.
Sure.
For the consumer. Am I allowed to ask questions of the consumer?
For you, Kevin, of course.
Because I'm wondering if a franchise to the West Coast is possible.
I see what he's saying. Okay. I believe so. Who's interested in being West Coast consumer?
I think you know where I'm going with this, Eric. Don't play coy.
Is it our friend who loves The Simpsons as much as I do?
It is the non-Academy Award winner, Jamie Foxx, yes.
Okay. I think in her case, I might make an exception and franchise out to her.
All right. Well, she is ready and prepared to be West Coast consumer.
Let me tell you, for Giddles here in the studio, let me tell you how cool she is. She's got the Bart mother tattoo.
That's pretty awesome.
Not finished, just like the episode. So she's authentic.
That's serious.
That's, yeah, serious fan devotion there. But yeah, tell her we'll talk about it and we'll try to get something going.
Okay.
All right.
After she just walked past, actually, and said, "Make sure you tell them I'm researching hot dog rollers."
Well, tell her that I put up a bunch of different reviews today. You can find them on eRock Radio on Instagram and Twitter there for the consumer. Hashtag the consumer. KevinPollakChatShow.com is the website for the Kevin Pollak Chat Show, and he's also Kevin Pollak on Twitter, which is interesting because I'm amazed nobody was cyber squatting on that and you had to pay thousands of dollars just to get your name.
Well, I was signed up 6 years ago before most people knew that or gave a shit too. And certainly, I should also point out, you've been kind enough to mention the website. We're rebuilding the website, so if you just Google Kevin Pollak's Chat Show, you'll find all the various ways to catch it. Now,
you have one other thing about your website, too. You have an animated intro of yourself welcoming you to the website and some stills. Have you thought about animating some of these interviews that you've been doing?
You mean like Ricky Gervais on HBO? You know, I thought they did a great job with it on HBO with Ricky Gervais, and at this point I would, as a stand-up comic all these years, I kind of feel my instinct gut reaction is it would be ripping him off, which, you know, I don't know. He wasn't the first person to animate an interview, so I don't know if that's even true. I just thought they did such a great job with his. And also just to see Carl Pilkington animated made me happier than anything else in life. That little tomato head. But, I mean, the truth is when you have, we just did our 225th show, so we probably have averaging 2 hours plus, well over 500 to 600 hours of interviews. And, dear Lord, is animating the tip of the iceberg in terms of what to do with this library. So I will keep it on the hot list of what the fuck to do with it. Yeah.
Well, just a thought.
It's a great thought. Yeah. But continued success with the show, man. You have the cast from Archer coming up, according to tweets.
Yeah, in about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll talk to some of the cast of Archer. We got a chance to talk to all of them recently at New York Comic Con for the new season of Archer, which just debuted yesterday on FX. But I can't fit everybody into it, so what I'm going to do is there's a bunch of highlights that we're going to play in a little bit, but all the full-length interviews with the entire cast, everybody individually, we're going to put up on the YouTube channel, which is It's Erik Nagel on YouTube.
I was so happy I could help you plug all of that.
Thank you, sir. Kevin Pollak, chatshow.com, and I think we're even now.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, all the best. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks, Kevin.
Later.
Kevin Pollak, whose movie, by the way, Usual Suspects, not on Netflix.
They just pulled it recently, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
There was
like
a big
couple
switch
weeks
on
ago.
the 31st, and then a big addition on January 1st. But yeah, it's no longer on Netflix.
I bet it's on UK Netflix.
I'm sure it is.
Everything's on the UK Netflix.
Because it's so much better.
I forgot to ask him where he got his hat. I want a hat.
Which hat?
The hat that Kevin Pollak always has.
Is it a Kevin Pollak hat?
That's what I always call it. Every time I say, I'm like, that's like a Kevin Pollak hat.
Find
it's
him
like-
on the Twitters.
I'm gonna have to do
It's
that.
one golfers wear, right? Don't they wear that on the golf
kind of like a
course?
pork pie,
It's kind
like
of pork
hat.
pie, but it's
Yeah.
kind of it's got that
strawy
the
look.
netting, where
Yeah,
it,
it's
where it
pretty-
can breathe on your head.
I need one of those.
Maybe it's like a Greg Norman or something. We'll find it for you. Mikey Piff's in studio. Mike, how are you?
What's up, guys?
From SiriusXM Hits 1.
Congratulations on your new time slot.
Thank you.
Thank you kindly, sir.
man.
Mike's been asking since the show started, hey, I want to come in and sit down on the show. Yes, Mike, come in. And then he never shows up.
He's always very busy.
It was tough on Saturdays because I'm here about 24 hours a day, 6 days a week.
I think that's your own fault, though, because nobody needs to do that much work around here.
That's true. Well, you are too.
Yeah,
Erik.
but I'm forced to. You're not. I think you do it of your own accord.
They whip him. They whip his back.
Are you still doing a shift on Hits 1?
I'm on the air in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes.
So, yeah.
Would be the
There you
answer.
go. I
Monday
don't
through
know.
Friday.
I don't get to hear Mikey's voice other than during the countdown when you do the web favorites or
Yes,
whatever it is.
the web videos.
The Spider Harrison's countdown.
That's right,
on
Spider
Hits
with a
1 there.
Y.
Spider with a Y. But thanks for coming in. It's good to see you, and you're into a lot of the same stuff we are here. And you got to touch on a few things as far as updates that's been going on for viewing and movie going and what have you here.
Sure.
The Ant-Man trailer from Marvel just came out.
It did.
What do we think about this?
I liked it. It was everything. I think it was everything I wanted it to be. The tone threw me a little bit when it started, but by the time it wrapped up, I think it was perfect. I like that it's going to be a heist movie. It makes absolute sense, having seen it, that Hank Pym is older and not younger. And I think Paul Rudd is going to do a fine job as Ant-Man.
I have a question, though, involving the suit.
Sure.
Because I'm not familiar, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know who the hell Ant-Man is. The suit allows him to get really small, like
Correct.
an ant. And I guess when he gets small, he gets some powers, strength-wise.
Yeah, he can communicate with bugs, and he gets the strength. His strength is proportionate to his size, and
Okay,
that kind of
so
stuff.
if he's that size and has these powers and whatever, but if he's regular size wearing the suit, does nothing for him?
I don't. I'm going to admit I don't know, but I don't think so.
Okay, well, still, I want to see Michael Douglas, so I'll watch
Of
the
course.
movie.
I think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to be.
I mean, listen, in Marvel we trust because
Right.
they have really done no wrong.
Right. There's no reason for me to think that it's going to be bad if I'm basing it on everything that's come before it. And there's a lot of room to grow with this character and his tie into the rest of the universe and the rest of the characters. I don't think we're going to see Hank Pym in just one movie. I think Michael Douglas is going to be around for a little bit, and I think that's important too. So
Okay.
And I think it points out that I think everybody knows the difference between a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie and like X-Men and like Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. Everyone knows the difference, so I think that's why everyone...
Those are standalone projects at this point now. Yeah.
absolutely.
With the Sony hacking and everything, was anybody else really hoping that Sony would be so fucked that they'd have to give Spider-Man back to Marvel Disney?
So much.
Of course, it's like every fanboy's wet dream, and whether or not it'll still happen, I guess it could. I never thought it was going to happen. I think Sony is
Mountains
still
would
too
have to
great.
move.
Yeah, like
Mountains of money.
Sony would really just have to say, please just take him and just give us something for it, because Disney's not going to give Sony any creative control because Sony hasn't proven that they can take care of the character and put out a movie that doesn't suck.
Right.
So,
and right when all the hacking was going on and all the news was coming out about it, we had also found out that Sony had told the entertainment division that they needed to go back to the table to talk with Disney and Marvel.
Correct.
And I don't think I've seen anything since.
No, because they wanted to maintain creative control, and Disney's not going to give them creative control. It makes no sense.
And honestly, I don't understand why you wouldn't give up creative control.
Of course,
because you failed at it so many times.
Yeah, I mean, what do they gain by that? Like, take the money
exactly and run,
exactly, and get more money on it for doing nothing.
Exactly. Let Disney run with the character. Disney's going to provide all the marketing. Disney's going to provide all the film costs.
They already don't get the money on the toys.
Exactly. So
what does it matter?
Yeah. So
all right. Now, Fantastic Four. I don't know if we talked about this last year.
We shouldn't.
Was
talk
also
about it,
was that Sony or Fox?
No, that's Fox.
Okay. What you had told me about Fantastic Four was that when they were planning, they're not anymore, but they were planning to reboot Fantastic Four.
Oh, no, they are planning to reboot it.
They are still?
Yeah.
I thought they stopped after.
Oh, no, sir. That's moving forward. As a matter of fact, there's a date now for Fantastic Four 2, which I think is brazen, considering how terrible the premise for the first movie is being received.
It's ballsy, considering I won't see Fantastic Four 1.
Exactly.
Well, there was 2 before this.
There's a lot of Fantastic Four movies, right? Because there's that like failed one from the 90s or
Corman
whatever.
One.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
And then there was the 2, right? And then now there's this one.
Oof.
Yeah.
But weren't you telling me something about Disney's not going to put a toy line out and all that stuff to kind of fuck with?
Disney killed the book. There's no new Marvel stopped the book, right? They killed the book. There hasn't been any new Fantastic Four toys.
They're not going to do any toys or marketing to go along with the movie. So the movie would go out and just be flying there by the seat of its pants because there's no other support with this.
More or less. And it's not going to be tied into the X-Men that we know. So it's not even going to be able to rest on the laurels of the success of that franchise. So
I know everybody says Disney is such an evil corporation and they hate Disney. I love this move. That they're going to say, all right, well, we own all the back end and the structure to this, so you get your name on the marquee, but as far as substance to this, you're not getting a dime of it, and we're going to purposely take a loss by not putting anything out just to screw you over.
Of course, they want to get the rights back at some point. The only way they do that is if it continues to fail.
I'm seeing in 5 years, you're going to see a lot of these properties start one by one making its way back.
Maybe.
Because Disney is really slow.
The X-Men properties will be fine.
Well, that's how they lost Daredevil. They couldn't figure out how to put something out.
Daredevil, by the way, coming to Netflix. It's all done, and they're just promoting April 10th.
Yeah.
Yep. So you'll get the whole season in one shot, which is exciting, and it's not the dumb Ben Affleck one.
I like the Ben Affleck one.
I didn't mind it that much.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean,
but what I was saying is that they're just going to keep putting out bad movies to keep the rights, which is messed up.
Right.
Like, that's probably worse if you think what Disney's
that was the
doing
whole point of Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah. It was just because they were going to lose the rights and let's redo it. And people were a little hopeful for a redo because the last one was so bad with Sandman and all that. And then this one, the first one was okay. They killed it with the second one because Jamie Foxx sucks. I'm sorry. I know he works here and we have a deal with him, but
fine as
he was
Peter
horrible
Parker,
in that movie.
I think everyone loves Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Just everything else
Everything else around it's terrible.
Yeah.
So, what else with that? Ant-Man, Fantastic Four.
Well, we can talk about Agent Carter.
Right, Agent Carter.
Good.
It was really good.
That just started this past week on Tuesday. If you want to set
it's an 8-hour
your DVR there.
Mid-season miniseries.
Tuesdays 9 p.m. on ABC.
Yep. So this is on in the off season for S.H.I.E.L.D. 8 hours, but 7 weeks because the first week was 2 hours. Great show. I mean, it takes place in the 40s, right after Cap 1.
Directed by the same directors as Cap 1.
So is it like a backstory type thing? Like, what is it?
It is.
I haven't seen either S.H.I.E.L.D.s or this.
So it's pretty much... Did you see the first Captain America movie?
No, I have not.
Okay, so Peggy Carter is the member of the SSR that is kind of assigned to Cap to kind of like help him and the Howling Commandos and like their little group and their missions. And so this takes place after Cap 1, after Cap dies, and Agent Carter is still part of this group. But what I liked about the show was it's kind of a procedural, but it's not. It's tackling the time period very well. Like, it's not shying away from the sexism of the 40s. And then it's got all of this great Marvel lore kind of built in, and they've already made allusions to stuff from Iron Man 2 in the first couple episodes, and you could see where it's going to go going forward. It's a brilliant part because Marvel now has pretty much said, we are never going to not have something coming out. Because as soon as Agent Carter ends, S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back on. As soon as S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back on, less than a month later, you have Daredevil. A month after Daredevil, you have Age of Ultron. A month and a half after that, you have Ant-Man. Sometime later in 2015, you have Jessica Jones. Then 2016 kicks off, and you've got that whole new slate of movies, plus 2 more Netflix shows, plus Agent Carter could come back if it's successful. They have no downtime now. It's constant, and it's all been good.
And even more importantly, they're getting the right people to do these projects.
Right. And it's well thought out, and everything isn't just there because they threw something in. It all ties in to other projects that, even though if you're watching a particular movie or a television show, those things aren't featured, but in the background, they all eventually tie into everything going on.
I think it's important that each property can stand on its own to a certain degree and then still tie in. Each one has a little bit of a different feel than the one before. Like Cap is clearly a different movie than Thor, is a different movie than Iron Man, is a different movie than Guardians. And Agent Carter is the same thing. It's different than S.H.I.E.L.D. in a lot of ways. Totally different tone. And so it each has its own appeal, and it doesn't feel like you're just watching the same stuff over and over and over again. Each one is unique enough that it can be entertaining in its own. So,
well, with this many projects coming out, do you think it'll get to the point where it'll be like too much Marvel, like oversaturation? Like by 2020, is like every channel just gonna be Marvel? Like every show is gonna be Marvel?
I have
like
a
it's getting
response to
crazy.
Because a lot of people say that. My response to that is no. People don't get tired of a genre. What people get tired of is a shitty movie or a shitty TV show. Action movies are still very successful. That's a genre. Superhero is a genre, right?
Yeah.
So as long as the movies and the TV shows continue to be quality, entertaining, then no, why would you get tired of them? As long as you continue to like them, it's if they start to get shitty or if they start to do what DC is doing, that's when it's going to get bad.
Well, with that said, we're going to have to take a break here and get to the cast of Archer right after the break. A couple of quick things to run back. We didn't talk about Gallivant, which is a 4-week special on ABC. We'll have to try to do that next week. It's on ABC Sunday at 8 o'clock. You should check that out. A lot of shows returning. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Gotham is back. We didn't get into Matt's issues with Gotham. What else did we have here? Man-Seeking Woman on FXX looks pretty good as well. I haven't watched it, but it just started, so I'm going to check that out. And we didn't talk about Snowpiercer. Ugh. Which everybody, there was a lot of buzz about it, but it wasn't that good.
Giddles did not like it.
You know what the problem was? Is like I think I thought I liked the movie, and then I thought about it after I watched it, and I was like, no, that movie tricked me into thinking that it was a good movie. It really, it had a lot of plot issues.
All right, Mikey Piff, SiriusXM Hits 1. Anything else to plug?
At Mikey Piff on Twitter. Thanks for having me, guys. I really love both you guys, and I love the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I hope lots of people tune in and listen.
Excellent.
I hope so too.
I hope you come back.
For you, I will. For the audience, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Gittlebase on the Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah,
Are you working on any new TV stuff? I know your episodes of Barmageddon just started.
Yeah, it just aired this last Wednesday. No, I'm pretty much on hiatus right now, just kind of hanging out, cooking a bunch of food, and that's about
just
it.
living a life.
Just living the dream, man.
You have to bring me some of your sausage at some point. I want to try some of this amazing. Hey,
let's isolate that, please. Matt, Geek Stuff OG on Twitter and Instagram. Matt, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah. Also, you can find me each week over at bkgeekstuff.com. That's the podcast that I'm part of, where we talk about all this geeky shit and toys and games and all that stuff, art and stuff as well.
Nice.
So
and I am eRock Radio on the Instagram and the Twitter as well, so check those out. Also, next week on the show, we welcome actor Patrick Wilson will be here. We'll talk to him and artist, I lost my thing here. There it is. Artist Josh Merman. I thought I had his Twitter, but I don't. I apologize. If you've seen a lot of these pop culture posters and shirts where you're seeing Kermit the Frog or Mickey or Pac-Man or Homer, any of those things, but they're all made out of words, this is the guy that does that. So we're going to talk to him next week.
I like the Link shirt that he did.
Yes, it is pretty cool.
Is he related to Eugene Merman?
Oh, let's find out. Probably not.
You never know.
We'll never know. That's it for now. We're after the break. We're going to talk with the cast of Archer. And next week, join us Friday night, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. We'll be right back.
Let's do it up. Beat. Now, it's Erik Nagel.
Aisha Tyler, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
I have to say, outside of Archer, I am a fan of yours. I got turned on to your podcast from Jay Moore.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
The podcast is Girl on Guy, and a couple of weeks ago you had Bert Kreischer on, which was hysterical.
Yeah, I love Bert. I mean, I've known Bert and Jay for 10 years at least. Jay maybe 15, and And Jay and I we did a home and away together really early on in both our podcast lives. So it was like really, really early in my first season. He's a very good old friend. In deep need of psychological assistance, but I love him very much.
You're here for Archer, which is going to come out in 2015, and you play Lana. I almost screamed it, but that would be inappropriate.
Yeah, you got it right.
This year, you have a baby.
Yes, well, not me. Oh, good Lord, that would wreck all my junk. But Lana has a baby. I think it's going to be a really interesting season because she's just juggling trying to be a working mom, and also trying to shoot people, which is a unique set of circumstances for a mother, and trying to deal with Archer's efforts at co-parenting. I don't think she really wants him to co-parent. I think he's volunteered, and then he's just kind of sucking at it. And she's like, "It's fine. You can just stay being a douchebag. I don't need you to try to change." But he keeps kind of, ramping back up and trying to get in there. It'll be cute to see how deeply and intensely he fails.
What else can we expect from Lana in this new season?
Well, I mean, the whole team is trying to figure out how to get back to fundamentals. I mean, I think. They were obviously on the lam last year, and now they're trying to come back in from out of the cold, and presents its own set of unique circumstances. They weren't particularly good spies before. I think people were so in love with them when they were at the agency, but they constantly were blowing it. I think it's one of the things that's so endearing about this group of people is you really care about their relationships more than you care about how effective they are as an espionage team. But they're trying to rebuild something that's deeply broken, and they're not a very effective team. So it's going to be interesting to see them try to put things back together.
Also, last season, it seems that good fortune was bestowed upon you where they lost the agency, and now ISIS is a dirty word.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time for the show. The terrorists apparently have won. Look, that's been the name on the show for years. It's also the name of like 97,000 other things, and everybody's like having a big sweet potato crap about it. But it's not like we had the name and then there was nobody else, and now it's just us and the terrorists. It's like also like a Greek goddess and some shitty VHS tape stores in the middle of the country. I mean, a lot of people have the name.
Do you think it affects the merchandising for Archer, though?
Not in the end. No, our merchandise isn't very good. It won't affect anything.
You haven't seen a lot of the shirts down there?
I've seen it. What'll be great is that down the line, that stuff's going to all be collector's items. So everybody who's got something with ISIS on it should hold on to it.
Why is there no Lana shirts?
I don't know. I think the bigger question is why am I not getting money for all the shirts that are out there?
Look, I asked this question to a lot of people, especially those who work in animation or who work in big studio projects where they've written and created, and there's a merchandise and a toy line. When product started coming out for Archer, did they give you anything for free, or did you have to go and actually buy your own product?
They've offered us stuff, we just haven't really loved very much of it. We go with our team on the guys who, Matt and Adam, the guys at Floyd County, make t-shirts every year. They make like special crew t-shirts, and that's the stuff we really treasure because it's stuff that just goes to cast and crew. It's really unique. Last year they did a t-shirt from this was a Vietnamese motorcycle company, like Kuong t-shirt, and that was actually on the Slater character in the season, so that's a really special shirt. So we have our own kind of like interior stuff that we do as a group, but I think Amber's got the dolphin. She's got the original blue dolphin. There's a pink dolphin circulating right now. Not regulation. Pink dolphin is not regulation. So I refuse to even acknowledge the pink dolphin because it's an imposter.
Aisha, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
I'm Amber Nash, and I play Pam Poovey.
I have to ask you, when is the dolphin coming back?
You know what? I don't know. And that's a very good question. I'm like, we never see this guy. He's in all the promotional materials, but we never see him. Not since season 1, I don't think. Right. So I don't know if he's ever coming back. I think now it might be like a point of pride to Adam that the dolphin is never coming back.
It's a silhouette in the intro.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if it's ever coming back.
And we saw it on the floor. There's the blue dolphin, and as Aisha Tyler told us, there's a pink dolphin, which we know is not a sanctioned property from Archer there, but the blue dolphin is out there in the public.
That's right. And there's also a gray dolphin floating around from the same company. And I think the gray dolphin was maybe like a small batch, like a special batch for San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know.
Did they give you one of those?
Yeah, actually one of my favorite things that I got is a dolphin pot holder, like a hot mitt. And it actually works really good. You just open his little mouth and you pull things out of the oven.
It was a great storyline last season where they were, and ridiculous, to sell cocaine to the drug cartels in Colombia. Now you're back. There's a baby. You merged with the CIA. People are trying to figure everything out here. What's in store for Pam? Is there maybe some kind of love interest, or does she start getting into that mode of, well, she's now jealous that somebody has a baby, that maybe she wants a baby?
There isn't a love interest, which I really want. Like, I really want to see Pam, like, maybe do some online dating and like find a guy for like 3 episodes. I think it'd be really fun, or a gal.
What about like Tinder?
Tinder would be awesome and so perfectly Pam. But she'd be using it the way it was intended to be used, by just like random hookups with dudes in a parking lot.
She'd use Cheryl's photo.
Oh my God, that's such a great idea. You just wrote episode 9.
All right. I want to figure.
So sorry, what was the question? What does Pam get into? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, what do we see in store for Pam? Is there some kind of love life?
Oh.
Does she have any jealousy about the baby? Did she want to have a baby?
No, she doesn't have any jealousy about the baby, but I think she really likes the baby. I think she's one of the only people that's actually equipped to be left alone with this child. Every time the child is left alone with anybody, like she gets left alone with Krieger, and it's the most terrifying thing. Like there's nothing more scary. Like just reading it on the page, I was terrified. So I think she actually likes the baby quite a bit. And did I tell you about the wedding?
No.
So her sister gets married. Pam's sister, Edie, gets married, and they go back to Poovy Farms for the wedding, which is a super fun episode. So I can't wait to see what Edie looks like. I hope it's just like Pam with red hair, like the Hanna-Barbera style Pam. Yeah.
What about if it's like Cam from Modern Family?
Oh my God, that'd be awesome. Dude, you got to get a deal with FX and start writing these shows.
You heard that, Adam Reed? Amber, thank you so much. I love the Pam character. I'd love to see the dolphin return. Maybe even if it's little Easter eggs where the baby all of a sudden now has a little stuffed dolphin.
Great idea. Again, you clearly should be writing this show.
I agree with you 100%. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Christian Slater.
How are you? This is the first time I've ever been to this New York Comic-Con, so I'm enjoying it, and being here with this group of people is wonderful.
Your character last year in Archer, didn't know if there was any longevity to it once they left South America, but it seems that you're here now.
Yeah, look, I'm just as surprised as you are. I'm very happy. I'm a huge fan of the show, and to get to continue on with this character, I think it's kind of a mysterious character. I'm interested about him. I'm a little bit now like the guy that they have to check in with, and I send them off on some missions, and I create some problems for him and Lana, and help a little bit with the babysitting. And Adam was just describing to me what some of the future episodes are going to be. And look, I'm just looking forward to lending my voice and having a good time with it. I mean, it's such a great cast and great group of people. And again, to be here with them is a lot of fun.
How long was the process for doing the vocal work for Archer? Did it coincide with you having to juggle your schedule for Mind Games?
Well, there were a couple times when I was in Chicago, but recording this stuff nowadays is so, there's recording studios everywhere, so you can just pop in, and like I said, it doesn't require a great deal. Certainly for the Slater character at this point, he's sort of been sporadically in and out of things, so it hasn't been a boatload of work for me, so it hasn't required a great deal of time. So it's really just been fun.
Anything else you could note about the Slater character for this upcoming season before we go?
Anything?
Any kind of love interest, maybe?
That I honestly don't know. Adam was just describing to me some of the future things that were going to be happening, and it all sounded very, it's like he was telling me these things, and he was like, but only if you want to, only if you want to. I was like, dude, of course I do. I'm completely committed and 100% into this. So wherever he wants to go with it is fine with me.
One last question. Gleaming the Cube 2 going to happen?
Yes, working on that. I've been working on my triple fakies and skateboarding under trucks and just preparing. There's no contract or no idea for it, but I still like to ride around and dream big.
Thank you very much, man. I am here with H. John Benjamin. Can I just call you John, or can I call you H?
You can call me H. John Benjamin, if you don't mind.
I am speaking to a gentleman who's been in a lot of major animations throughout my entire life here, from Dr. Katz all the way up to your current project here, Archer, Bob's Burgers as well. Archer is an amazing character and a whole ensemble where all this time has gone by and we've seen growth, whether it be good or bad, except for Archer.
Are you done? Yes. Archer is like a real grown-up baby to a degree. Probably the best portrait of a grown-up baby ever on television. And I think I've done similar characters like that, but Bob is much different. Bob is a pretty responsible guy and pretty grounded. So, yeah, Archer's nuts.
How did the whole crossover last season come about between Bob's Burger and Archer?
Adam Reed, the creator of Archer, came up with it. He just called. He asked me. I don't think he knew the Bob's Burgers people very well. He didn't know Lauren very well. So he asked me to kind of play middleman and ask. He's a fan of Bob's Burgers, so it turned out great. I was kind of like, oh, I thought maybe it would be gimmicky, but it wasn't at all. So that worked out great.
The new season of Archer is coming in early 2015. Archer now has to deal with a baby. How does this work out?
He really fucks it up. Like, he fucks up another baby. He's fucked up a few. This could be the second baby. I don't know how badly he fucked up the first baby, but he's in no position to really be a dad. I think he has the hope or the idealism that he'll be able to handle it. And that's the problem with Archer. His idealism is like childlike, and you don't want a child to have a baby. With all the animation work that you've done over the years, and God bless you, because there's people who are trying to do it and don't succeed, or do get a job here or there but don't have the longevity that you do. How does that come about? You just seem to fall into project after project after project, and all of them are incredibly well written, they're hysterical, and they are successful. I'm really good.
It's a great answer. It's very true.
Yeah. I mean, whatever I do is good, and because I'm in it.
How do you... That is such a McGurk line. It's such an Archer line. How do you figure out the personalities you're going to do with all these characters? Well, it's funny. Like McGurk, from Home Movies, in good part, I've been lucky to work with really good people. Lauren Bouchard and Adam Reed are very similar to the extent that they are like built to make animated shows. They want to do it. They love that medium, and they are also, really like uniquely talented in their own way. But they want to make animated shows. So to be a part of that, I think that's why the shows have succeeded, and I just sort of help that along. So I'm a good little helper. But it's really the people who make the shows that are more important to the process, and I've just been lucky. This new season of Archer, what can we expect? Archer dies. Well, there you have it. There's a spoiler for you. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a bit of a spoiler. I'm still working on the whole concept of spoilers, so you have to forgive me. John Benjamin, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I love every project that you have done, and I can't wait to see what else you come up with. Thanks a lot. Thanks. I might disappoint you. I might.
And that's all the time we have. Follow the guys on Twitter and Instagram at eRockRadio and at GeekStuffOG. eRockRadio and at GeekStuffOG. The show should be back next week, right here on Opie Radio.